debating what the best thing for us to do is. There's so much learning in that, because we sort of failed to check right on that approach.
I'm Jason Miller, a full-time professional flight instructor. On the Finer Points channel, you can join me as I bring you tips and tricks that I've learned from 20 years on the flight line. Hello aviators, welcome back to the Finer Points. You know, I've been watching some old lesson videos while I've been stuck here in quarantine, and it just blows me away how much you can learn from one single flight lesson. Check out this old night flight that I did with Alex. We're out practicing for his instrument check ride. It's nighttime, we're in a G1000, but really just watching it, there are a few things that jump off the screen to me as valuable for any pilot on any flight at any point. So check these out. Thing one was how important procedures are at night. You can see here just a taxi briefing. You know, pretty much everybody has access to taxi diagrams now in flight. It's actually on the ACS that you should be using taxi diagrams. And you can see here at our home base where the runway is very simple and the taxi route is very simple. It's more important to me that Alex checks it, because if he doesn't do it here, he'll get complacent. And then when we go to an airport where it really matters, it won't be his primacy.
Here we are at the flight center.
Excellent,
There's
thank
the
you.
3-0 run-up, and there are no hotspots between us and there. Taxiway Juliet.
Oh, beautiful.
Here.
Thank you.
And it's not just the pre-taxi briefing, it's, you know, the pre-takeoff briefing, the taxi turns, all of these other little standardizations that he has built in are starting to pay dividends here at night when the visibility is reduced.
Okay, so here we are at the runway 30 run-up.
Carlos ground,
There is the sign for runway 30.
Hangar Foxtrot with
30 direction is off to the left here.
26 Charlie, San
Back that
Carlos
up
ground,
with the heading indicator and our compass.
Thing two is night lighting. You know, it's a huge part of night flying is, you know, either you have too much light or you have too little light. Should you use red lights or white lights? First of all, just knowing what you have in the cockpit is a huge part of the battle. So make sure you're not caught off guard, that you've tested it. You can see in this case, we actually have too much light. So the challenge is really getting your eyes outside of the cockpit. And the suggestion is to just progressively dim everything. Those two big G1000 screens, as our eyes get adjusted, not just the 10 minutes of adjustment we get from the cones, but over the next 30 minutes to an hour, we're going to progressively dim those G1000 screens to really bring out the world behind them.
Have you ever considered a red headlamp? They make them for camp. Oh, look at you. That's pretty good, Alex.
You know, I was reading, though, that even though there are these red headlamps you can get,
Yes.
it's not necessarily... Apparently, there's some people debate about if red is actually better, which I don't know. I think it's stupid that anyone's debating that. I think it's...
Well, I can understand.
As far as I know, it's pretty well established.
No, I understand the counter-argument. The counter-argument is there's so much light pollution you never get adapted anyway, and if you're having trouble reading your stuff with a red light, then why not just use a white light?
Yeah.
I had an old Navy pilot.
3 Charlie Alpha, keep your turn nice and tight, so heading a 120.
Old Navy pilot told me that once. Said, like, look, when I'm on an aircraft carrier out in the middle of the ocean, yeah, I use red lights. I use red goggles walking from the ready room to the airplane, but there's zero light pollution, right?
Also, you can see Alex is using multiple iPads here, and I'm not sure if everybody knows it, but if you're using a product like ForeFlight, you can actually go inside the app here, not through settings, but through ForeFlight, through the software that they've written, and actually dim the screen even further than you normally can. So just make sure with all those digital devices that over time, as your eyes are getting adjusted, you're taking that interior light down as much as possible, and you'll really see the world beyond it, the world outside the airplane, really start to come to life. Thing three is to get very specific about your successes and your failures. You can see here Alex made a big mistake. Now we could keep going with the flight lesson, but I think it's more important to go back to the flying club and really sink our teeth into what's been learned so far, rather than to dilute what might be learned over time as we stay out there. I mean, if we did that, we might end up back at the flying club going, hey, remember that mistake you made? And he might, the whole feeling about it is diluted. So this is an important learning moment. We've been out for almost an hour and a half. We're gonna go back and really take this learning moment, have that be the point we end on, drill into it so that we can come back next time and fix what went wrong today. So I was starting to notice a few different mistakes Alex was making, but the big one was he failed to arm the autopilot to approach mode before the glide path came down. And if you do that, then the airplane will not intercept and fly the glide path.
I'm your examiner here. I feel like you're wrestling with the autopilot, like you don't exactly understand how it works. I'm debating what the best thing for us to do is. There's so much learning in that, because we sort of failed to check right on that approach. I'm wondering if we shouldn't just like take our legs, go learn it, like debrief it, and then hit it again tomorrow, like with all three. Like I just don't want to miss anything from that. I don't want to do so many approaches that we aren't able to remember everything that just happened.
All right, aviators, that's all for this episode of The Finer Points. A huge thanks to the sponsors for their support of this show. Also, a huge thanks to the patrons. If you're interested in long-form lesson content or daily bonus videos, please come visit patreon.com/learntfp. Also, please come to learnthefinerpoints.com for a free gift video. Huge thanks to you, the best fans on the internet, for watching this video. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share far and wide with your friends. I'm Jason Miller, and until next time, be safe, fly your best.